Sunday music theme. Sunday music. Hey, you know what? I could do that, couldn't I? We're gonna have we're gonna have a bit of music to start us off with because, yeah.
Oops.
So let's just go.
Oh, I've just got the notification on my phone. That's what that sound was. Freeman on the sand.
I noticed your phone's been busy, so let's go search the flute song. This one's been recently going on, and oh no, that's the one. It's number 4. Play 4. So this is the "When I Wake Up for Another Day Full of Racism" song. No, that's not. I'm sorry. That is not it. My God, but right, let's try that again.
My alarm tone in the morning is for any RPG computer game fans out there. It's Tifa's theme from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, that's popular. The flute song. I mean, if this just went off without a hitch first time, then it would be just no one would like it. Right. So let's try. Oh, it's called the flute tune. Right. Let's try search.
Sounds gay.
Yeah, you say that, and you haven't seen the music video. It's right. So play. Play 1. And
left line set numbers 1, 2, 3.
It literally is like it's that. You know what? I'm gonna get the link, and I'll just put the link in, and then it'll work, and we're all gonna go, oh yeah, that's a great theme tune. Well done, Hobbit. Play, and then do that. Right, that's welcome to the Sunday show. There you go. It's a bit different, isn't it? We will have a word from our sponsors later on in it, but I just thought we can afford a theme tune now.
Hobbit, Roman numerals, Banter Nationalism C111 is the C100.
Yeah. C is century. That means 100, and then III is 3. So.
Yeah, of course. So M for millennium, C for century. Okay. Well, that's my something new learned for the day. Cheers.
Yeah, and then I think D is
V5.
Yeah, V's 5, X is 10, and I think D is 50. I remember this because back in the day the BBC used to do Roman numerals, and I was like, what's MCMX?
Yeah, I remember at the start and end of the shows. The only Roman numerals I know is the same as Bart Simpson. Remember when he's trying to escape from the lion, and he's Rocky 5 plus Rocky 2 is Rocky 7, Adrian's Revenge, and then he runs away from the lions that are attacking him. It's one for the Simpsons fan. I'm full of Simpsons references.
I'm staggered myself that Simpsons is still a thing. It's just like.
It's one of the saddest facts in the current year is that The Simpsons has been shit for longer than it was good, and that's really something. I think they're up to about season 28 now. They might be pushing for 30. In fact,
I think they're pushing for 1988.
Yeah, well, it depends when you say starts, because I think season 1 was 88, but they had some skits on the Tracy Ullman show, it was called, in America. And they had, like a couple of 1-minute skits on the show, and they were so popular. Then they started season 1. In season 1, they were really just finding themselves, experimenting. But from season 2 onwards to about 9 or 10, it was just possibly the best television show of all time. In my opinion, the only one that rivals it is The Sopranos. Followed by South Park, but Simpsons and Sopranos for me, best television shows of all time. Hey, Nordic Nightmare. I'll come back on.
I think I prefer what's it called, Breaking Bad to The Sopranos, but The Simpsons was good television. I remember when I first saw like trailers for it on Sky TV back in the early 90s, and I was like, oh, it's a cartoon. Oh, it's about monsters, because like Bart and Lisa had spiky hair and they're all yellow. And
I am a fan of Breaking Bad. I think compared to this, I don't know. The Sopranos. It just seems a bit more slick, a bit more high IQ. I think it's a bit simplistic sometimes.
It's one of the few series that didn't have to bed in, isn't it? Like most series, like the main character has to bed in. They spend a couple of series becoming who they really are, kind of thing. But they seem fully fleshed out from the start, didn't they? The Sopranos.
Yeah, I think it was just the first episode, as I recall, which was a little bit cliche. They had, all the same songs that were in Goodfellas and A Bronx Tale, and the scenarios. He was picking up money that somebody owed. It was just a little bit cliche, but that was only the first episode. I mean, apart from that, brilliant. And the series, I think it was around series 6 when Phil Leotardo got out of prison. I think that was probably the best.
Oh yeah, Phil Leotardo.
The best television. I was actually I was just browsing YouTube the other night watching some Nancy Sinatra songs, and I recalled she was in The Sopranos singing "Happy Birthday" to Philly. He actually passed away. Unfortunately, the guy that played Phil.
Oh, have you seen it? Yeah, we lost a goalkeeping great today, didn't we? Was it Pat Jennings? Was it?
Hello.
You hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
now.
we can hear you now.
Hey.
Don't say fuck or bugger.
Do you want to join in before we move off of The Sopranos?
I just wanted to say one of the early episodes of it, they're in like some motel somewhere, and I can't remember the context, but it was like, oh no, I do remember the context. Someone was being reluctant with paying, so they beat him up and they said, you give Shlomo whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, because that Jewish lad wanted to divorce his wife and take a chunk of the hotel, didn't he?
Yeah, and the rabbi, the Talmud says, and I don't give a fuck what the Talmud says, and he chokes him up against the.
God, you Gollum.
Yeah,
You've created a Gollum.
Whatever he wants.
Apparently, David Duke was mentioned by Tony in one of the episodes, but I have to admit, I can't recall that.
It was Meadows Soprano. He was like joking about because Meadows' bike got stolen by a black guy, and he was like reciting. Oh,
I remember. I still remember the look on his face because she's
the best bit.
Black, hasn't she?
The best bit is what she says. Where did you get that from, David Duke?
The bit which to me sort of strikes. Come on, words work now.
Oh, we could make a great video about that, about Colette.
I never really got into The Sopranos, but then I was watching this episode and it was like Tony saw this like the singing fish, which I really despise, and then he just starts beating the shit out of the guy who brought it into the office, and at that point I was just like, oh cool, this guy's based. My
favourite bit is the bit in the stables where the is it the Mexican says Columbus. It was just like the Holocaust, and then Hesh fucking pulls him up straight away, doesn't he?
Yes, you guys have been friends for years. They were fighting. Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know. The Pine Barren episode's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's got to be the best episode. I think that was season 3.
You're a bit on the quiet side here, now.
That was season 3 with Paulie and Chris. I think that's been voted, by Sopranos fans as the standalone best episode ever. Just the interaction between those two was great. And even the comic relief in The Sopranos was amazing. Considering how dark some of the topics were, but when Bobby turns up and he's dressed, he looks like a little boy dressed for his adventure. He's going out to find Chris and Phil and Uncle June and Tony just fucking burst out laughing at him. Even though there was this, the friends could have ended up dead. It was good. It was really good humour in the show.
So, I mean, one of the things which I wondered about with... Jesus, man, I've been drinking too much. No, I never...
Does anyone want a DIY story?
I know.
Because I've been doing DIY this weekend. When you're ready. I'll tease it. I'll tease my DIY story, keep people on the hook.
Yeah, that's it. So just, DIY's coming up. But first of all, I just got to say to myself, did anybody else get really annoyed with the ending of The Sopranos? Because when I watched that, I was like, fuck this, I'm going to pretend this doesn't happen. And I watched Scarface instead, and I was like, yeah, that was a better ending.
I was never that mad at the ending, because the way I interpreted it was, of course the series had to finish at some point, and they went out on a high because they never went on for too long, like some, like The Simpsons we just mentioned. It didn't go on too long. People still wanted more. And how I interpreted the ending was that it was Tony's next problem coming through the door and what would have been the next series. So, like in the previous series, his cousin, Steve Buscemi, got released from prison and he came back into the fold for a while. And, there was all sorts going on when he came back. And I think it was someone like that, like someone would walk through the door and, it's somebody that's got out of prison that he's not seen in years, or it's just somebody that's going to get involved with a family, and it would have been, continued on into the next season. That's how I interpreted it. A lot of people thought he got shot, but no, I refuse to believe.
I just got annoyed with that. I mean, they could have finished on the highlight with the young ones, where they just drive a bus off a cliff. That's a proper ending to. That's a proper send off. But no,
I don't think there's an ending that I've been satisfied for any TV series really, apart from like you say, the young ones. Was there a last episode of Bottom?
Wait a minute. What about Fresh Prince? I thought that was a good ending.
Never saw it.
I was banged up and done for rape.
No, this is when Will Smith was still okay. He was still bearable. The Fresh Prince was actually quite a good show, but it's quite a sad ending, really.
It's not really Will Smith that's unbearable. It's his wife, isn't it?
I you know what? I don't follow it that much. What I've seen of Will Smith over the past 15 years hasn't been much, because I've just not been impressed.
I think he's pretty cucked, because I think they have an open relationship.
Oh right, and even he was in a couple of good films. The Men in Black with Tommy Lee Jones. That was a good one. No, that was the first one was good.
I didn't realise it at the time, but I was watching Will Smith in Independence Day, and I was like, wow, he's there to act a clown just so you just ignore Jeff Goldblum and Brent Spiner. My God, it's a fucking shit film. I mean, it's all right shit, but at the same time, if Brent Spiner, Jeff Goldblum, and Will Smith had not been in that film, it would have been better.
No, that story was dog shit though, weren't it? Giving aliens a fucking virus when you're on Windows 95. I mean, what the fuck?
No, it was before Windows 95. They used a Game Boy to upload the virus into the mothership.
Oh, fucking Windows 98. Get Bill Gates in here. You told us Windows 98 would be 6 times fat. Well, it's over. Just shoots him the South Park film. South Park was a great show as well. Is this Banter Nationalism TV show random discussion episode, or do we have anything?
I mean, I don't know.
You didn't mention who's bringing us this episode. Hobbit.
Well, it is brought
Yeah.
to you by JML, so we'll have in the chat is saying, sort your mic out. You sound like you're in the next room. You Paz. I think you mean spaz. But I don't know. How about this?
It's not
Is that
Hobbit's mic. It's CNA. It's
Ah.
CNA that sounds like he's in the
right?
next room.
Yeah. Can someone tell this OT that his mic is fucked, please? Yeah. So, ENA, did you know that your microphone is fucked?
But
Nordics. Oh, Nordics actually made a good point there. The Sons of Anarchy ending was pretty good.
I don't know what somebody said. Oh, Sons of Anarchy is like the story of Thor and Odin. And I thought, okay, that sounds interesting, and I respected the guy.
Yeah, Thor and Odin Sheckelstein.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, I watched it and I was just like, this is the Sons of Zionism, and they're like,
We may be degenerate bikers who fuck our own daughters and stuff like that, but at least we're not racist. That's basically the message of Sons of Anarchy, isn't it?
I lost all sense of immersion where they're just like, there's black biker gangs and they are not only talking with them, but it's like, yeah, let's do a business deal together. You're a reliable trade partner. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me? Is this like, at what point it's like, they don't look like meth addicts. So, I mean, but even then the meth addicts tend to be even more...
And the only gangster who really has it together does $1 million deals and like owns city blocks is the black guy, obviously.
But of course... Oh, and then there was
Yeah.
the whole thing of like, we're going to go on the trip to Ireland, and instead of it being like Father Ted, it's all just like, oh yeah, thanks for reminding me why the Irish are absolute shit tier, and anybody who associates with them is scum.
Oh dear.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy was shit, and anybody that's saying like, oh, I like Sons of Anarchy, it's just like, go.
It was shit, but I did enjoy it. I still enjoyed it, even though it like really, like I think I watched it again about a year ago, the whole thing, because the missus had never watched it, so we watched it together.
When did you first discover you enjoyed punching yourself in the balls?
No, I'm not saying I enjoyed the politics of it, but the show is generally quite enjoyable. They get up to hijinks and stuff, don't they? So
I've watched 2 episodes of The Mandalorian so far, and I can't say I'm impressed.
yeah, I told you it's side quests. It's like a side quest thing, but I did enjoy
it's
it.
more than that. It's just like he's shown to be this bird-ass slayer of thick bounty hunter and things, and it's like the Jawas, which totally are not space Arabs. I need to go and infiltrate their sandcrawler. So he doesn't really infiltrate it. He kind of just sort of runs towards it whilst they're in full retreat, and he's climbing up this rope. And they're throwing rocks at him, in typical space Arab fashion. And he falls down. They don't. They cut away, and then he somehow manages to crawl back up. They don't show how or explain how, because he's literally hanging on the rope. And then he gets on the thing, and then all of these space Arabs, which completely are not Arabs but are in fact Arabs, shoot him with like a taser. They've all got tasers.
There's only one space Arab, and that's Watto.
No, he's space.
Oh god, Anakin.
He's space Fagin. No, the Jawas are definitely from Jeddah or Mecca maybe. But anyway, it's just like, and then he falls down again, and then there's like this baby, which I assume is going to be a sidekick all the time. And I'm like, it's not really what I'd say was a good buddy cop movie. I mean, what's the baby?
It's a Yoda baby.
Yeah, it's just like, oh look, it's eaten an entire frog alive. Oh, that's.
It is literally what thing you would call a MacGuffin. Is it?
Oops.
Hitchcock used to call it MacGuffin, didn't he? The Thing. You know the thing in in any program or game. The thing that you. Like the Maltese Falcons, a MacGuffin. That baby is like a MacGuffin.
I would say it's like in Spaceballs when he's like, "Here's the Schwarz." It's like, he's got like his line of merchandise of all the things in there. It's just like, it's merchandise. Spaceballs.
Merchandise.
Spaceballs was actually funny. I like.
Mel Brooks is one of my favourite shows.
He's
I was about to. So wasn't he the one on that? What was it? The
Based on
The comedy, the racist comedy. What we're thinking of when he was singing.
Blazing Saddles.
Are you thinking of the producers, or are you thinking of Blazing Saddles?
Blazing Saddles, that was the one.
I do like the producers. I didn't really like Blazing Saddles because it was just like, okay, oh yeah, he's what's his name? Richard Pryor's going to sort this town out, and everyone's like,
it's not Richard Pryor. It's another black guy.
They all look the same.
It's so funny when he's walking through the town and says, "That old lady, morning, ma'am." She says, "Up yours," and where it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny, but no one's supposed to pretend like, oh no, it's a bigger deal to say.
Richard Pryor was quite funny. He was in that film, was it See No Evil? And he thought he was a white guy. He was blind. He thought he was a white. And he shouts on the subway, "You mean I'm not white?" he's got into like his 40s, and he's not even realised he was black.
So reminds me of that joke. Why is Stevie Wonder always smiling? Because he don't know he's black.
Is it time for a JML advert?
Guy, let's go for it.
Let's load something up, shall we? How shall I do it? The display and capture, I think that'll do it. So just put it on there. And, first of all, a few seconds of this. Oh, look how happy he is. The reason he's happy is he has a flute.
Who has a flute? You're not sharing any video.
Oh no, I'm not, am I? I have to do it. I'm sharing it with the audience, but I have to go.
Right, I'll watch it on the stream.
I have to do it on. Oh yeah. Yeah, JMI, and let's just have a look at what should we have for JML today. We've already had the Incredibrella, we've had the Woof Washer.
I thought you were going to do the big slipper thing, weren't you?
The footsie blanket? No,
yeah.
That's OnlyFans.
That's literally Hobbit every morning, isn't it?
What
Hobbit?
do you get when you?
Yes, but the egg sitter, I think, is.
We haven't done the Wolf Washer. We like a dog advert.
Oh, I thought we did do Woof Washer. Let's save it.
Did we do Woof?
Let's save it for when Iron Duke pulls that thumb out of his ass and comes back on.
Cross your tired, stiff back with this fragile egg. It's the Egg Sitter Cushion from JML, an amazing new flex cushion that supports your backside and spine so that you can sit on an egg without breaking it. Incredible!
You want me to sit on this egg? Okay.
Crack.
I can't believe I'm doing this. I don't even feel it. It didn't even break? Oh, I was wondering about that. Now that's a good cushion.
How does it support your spine?
No, look! Oh my, that's crazy! Where do I get one of these cushions?
Say goodbye to achy bottoms from sitting all day, or a stiff back from
Oh,
long
hell
car
no!
rides. Now you can
Oh,
sit
hell
all day
no!
on even those hard, unforgiving chairs and still feel comfortable. Some other cushions need a gap to cradle the tailbone.
How does it
Not
work?
Egg Sitter.
I don't know,
Honeycomb
but it does.
design is
Jimbo Vic
constructed of
Reeves used to do
elastocork
that.
to absorb pressure points by collapsing in on itself. That's why even this egg won't break under direct pressure.
Yeah.
Plus, the Egg Sitter's Elastocore allows air to circulate underneath. Why be in the hot seat and get fatigued all day when you can be cool and comfortable? Now, long days at the office will be more relaxing, dinner more enjoyable, and uncomfortable car rides a thing of the past. It's also great for watching TV,
What happens when you
playing
fart on it?
cards, or doing crafts. Egg Sitter is made of Elastocore, a strong material that always returns to its original shape and stays
Do the
supported,
farts get
so it
trapped in
rolls
the-
up
in
and
the
is
honeycomb,
portable.
and then you
Take
stand
it to
up and it
sporting
starts-
events
then
to
it all
save your
starts
behind
bunging.
from those hard
I mean,
benches. Use it at
honeycomb
church for
looks,
long sermons.
pretty
It's
good.
for anyone anywhere that wants to experience
And you
an
go for trapping
astonishingly
farts in it,
comfortable
wouldn't it?
seat. It's time to take a stand for a better way to sit with the Egg Sitter cushion.
It's just super comfortable.
It's amazing. Woo, woo. I like that.
Oh, look at that bloke there struggling with his bad
Now
back.
you can get the comfort and support you deserve with the Egg Sitter from JML. The Egg Sitter supports your backside and spine when sitting on
That
hard
black woman's
surfaces.
that
Its
black woman's in a
honeycomb
living room,
design absorbs
surrounded by
pressure,
soft chairs,
cushioning
and
and
she decides to sit on
redistributing
the
your
dining
weight
room chair.
and collapses into the spaces provided, retaining total comfort and support. The Egg Sitter's
Yeah.
design and elastical construction means it's strong and durable and
Yeah.
will always retain
I've just
its
been
shape.
I've just been providing my commentary. I realised
Circulate to keep you cool and comfortable wherever
Right.
you are. Get your very own egg sitter.
It looks like something you'd
with
find in a
Lotus
hospital,
non-slip
so I don't know
cover
why
for just
anybody would have it in the living room.
$39.99.
Oh, you
If
can
you're
have
not
a bonus
completely
non-slip
satisfied,
cover.
simply send it back for
Oh,
a
yeah, I'm
refund,
almost slipping
thanks to
off
JML's
one chair.
30-day money-back guarantee. Enjoy real comfort and support with the egg
But if you
sitter
buy it without the
from
non-slip
JML.
cover, does that mean you might slip?
Well, you know, we're all slipping off the chair, so I'm sure JML's got a non-slip cover for you.
Yours for only 40 quid, bloody hell.
I mean,
What? Plus $2.95 postage.
you don't take this one to the checkout. You can order it via social distancing.
Trying to relax.
No.
Well, we know what to get you for Christmas, Hobbit.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's a pile cushion?
what a reason to live.
Is that good? Is that good for your piles? Is it, Hobbit?
Don't know. I have to find
Own
out.
zone. This sounds like it's going to be good. The own zone.
Oh, I think we've already done Own Zone. It's
No.
it's wireless. It's wireless headphones.
No, I haven't done the own zone.
Have we not? Okay, let's do an Own Zone then, and I'm going to share it on the thing so you can see it and we can do real time commentary.
Yeah.
So I'll just share the screen and make sure it's the right one there, and we'll do all those things. You get it glorious 30 frames a second.
But it's a madhouse all
The
around.
main
There's so much
the main
noise, you
picture
can't
for the
hear your TV
Banter
sound,
Nationalism
or do
there
you
makes
have
you
to
feel
turn it up
nostalgic.
so
Do you remember
loud
those
that
things,
everyone
pubs?
screams?
Nice.
Introducing Own Zone
The nice,
from
yeah, the
JML,
before, yeah,
the
that's another
wireless
South Park
sound-reducing
reference.
TV
Yeah.
headphones.
A nice,
The
nice
perfect
bar.
way
You
to
could
hear
go
your
in and
TV loud
sit at a
and clear
table,
without
and if you wanted a
disturbing
drink, you
anyone
just got up
else.
and walked to the
Simply
bar
connect
and
your
ordered
Own
one.
Zone headphones to virtually
Paid with
any
cash.
make or model TV in seconds, and they help
Those
block
are
out
the days.
So
virtually
basically,
all
it's just
surrounding
wireless
sound
headphones.
just
They're
by
trying to
putting them
fuck you
on,
wireless
so you can
headphones.
focus
It's
on what's
wireless
coming through the
headphones, but it's
headphones.
from
You can even
JML.
control the volume
Look how
directly
happy
from the
she
headphones.
is.
Perfect for a wireless workout,
Well, you can't.
surrounding
You
you
can
with
imagine
full
she's
stereo
happy.
sound.
Guys, now
Ozone
going down the
comes
gym
with
and just
enhanced
plugging your own
digital
plug
RF
headphones
technology
in
that
there.
helps you stay connected up to
Yeah, why not?
100
Drown
feet.
out the
No
shit they
confusing
play in
Wi-Fi or
gyms. Do you
Bluetooth
remember going to
connections.
gyms?
Ozone is
Do you
so
remember
easy to
going
set up
abroad?
and works on virtually all kinds of TVs. And you don't even have to stay in your seat. You can still hear the game outside, even when mowing the lawn. Watching TV in bed can
Look at
upset
that.
your partner, but with Own Zone, you can hear loud and clear without disturbing their sleep. Watch the game with sound so clear you'd think you were in the
Watch
stadium,
porn.
or hear every word of your favourite movie
Watch
like you were
porn,
at the
don't wake the
cinema.
wife up.
Just
Tell you what,
plug in
they
the
always
Ozone
live in
transmitter
nice,
into your
big,
TV, and it's
spacious
wireless
houses on the
connected
adverts,
to
don't they?
Massive houses,
Ozone
isn't they?
headphones
Look at
transmit
that.
up to 100 feet.
Always when there's an
Game
advert that's based in a
outside, or
kitchen, it
listen
must
to
be a
the
bloody
TV
£5 million
hands-free as you
mansion
go
the
through
size
your
of the
morning
bloody
routine.
kitchen.
There's
It's bigger than
kitchen
most
lotion
people,
and
you know, the
adjustable.
entire ground
You
floor of
can
the
also
house.
sync more than one pair, so you can get things done while the kids have fun.
Oh yeah, so you would have your headphones on, wouldn't you? Just to cut yourself off from your bloody own kids. From talking to you.
Whether you're working
Jesus.
out, doing the chores, or watching
That would have
a
shouted the kids
family
to
film,
shut the
you
fuck
can
up,
listen
get some
loud
head-
and clear and with
What
amazing
the
quality.
fuck?
So sit back and relax in
This
total
could be for you,
comfort
Hobbit, when
with
you're playing
Ozone,
your
the wireless TV
computer
headphones
games,
from
Warhammer,
JML.
and what have you.
With Ozone, you're getting an incredible set of TV headphones with wireless connection.
Is there a
There's no
built-in
confusing
microphone
Wi-Fi or
with them,
Bluetooth
Hobbit?
connections. Ozone is so
No,
easy
not
to
on this
set up
one, it's
and
not a
connects to
headset.
virtually any TV in seconds.
Oh,
You can
just
watch
the
the game
phones.
or your favourite movie with full stereo
Wireless connection,
sound. No more being distracted by the kids, and no more keeping your partner awake in bed whilst watching your favourite TV show. The enhanced digital RF technology transmits a signal up to
Enhanced
100
digital
feet
RF
away, so you can
technology.
listen to your TV
Ooh,
hands-free
enhanced.
while doing your morning routine. Ozone's built-in volume control means you can easily adjust the volume without the need to use a TV remote, and they're
Oh, yeah,
completely
because
rechargeable, so no batteries required.
That's
You can
brilliant.
get
They-
your
they've
own pair of
accurately
Ozone
measured-
Are you too
headphones,
lazy to
complete
pick
with
up
a
your remote?
transmitter,
Get a pair of
charging
Ozone
cables, and
headphones.
free audio
I'm
cables,
so
so you
glad
can
it comes
easily
its
connect
own volume
Ozone to
control. I
virtually
mean, the
any
number of
kind of
times I just
TV
look
in
at
one
my
of three
phone
ways,
slightly
all for the
outraged.
amazing price you see
Yeah.
on screen. We'll even throw
Yeah, so
in
we've
free
progressed on
delivery,
now
yes,
from
with comfort
the remote
of your
control.
love
People are
that
too
comes with a
lazy to
30-day
use the
money-back
remote control now.
guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied,
Fucking hell,
simply
all
send
that
it
for
back
wireless
a refund.
headphones. I'm
Call
sure you
or
can get
go
a
online
better
now and
version.
enjoy the game, your favourite movie
No,
or
you
TV show
can't get
with
better
wireless
than
freedom and
JML.
full stereo sound.
No,
with
you
the
can't. It's got the
incredible
JML
Ozone
guarantee
headphones
of
from
quality, that has.
JML.
You're never going to make it to the sales team, Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shame on you. I've got a bit.
You'd
of
be about. Go on.
I was going to say I've got a bit of content today. I'm going to have to figure a way if I want to show it though, because I want other people to see it. I've put it in potential stories, and I will read it out because readings for fags. So, but I want where's
Image. Open an image.
yeah, but I mean, where's potential stories? Why can't I see it? Call it home movies. 37 book club.
You're the wrong end of it. You need to be near the top, Hobbit.
Oh, there's potential stories. There we go. Right.
Potential stories. The first one that I saw was a post from Vicky Millwall, aka Flossie. It's an article about Piers Morgan with a comment, "I'd like to punch this guy repeatedly in the face forever." You wouldn't be the only one there, Flossie.
Let's see if this way all works. So oh look, there's the display capture. So we got it there, and if I move that out of the way, and I don't know how's that chat? Can chat? Is this legible, chat? Can you see what this thing is? Because I'm gonna.
No, you're gonna have to zoom in a couple.
Yeah. So this may embiggen it. So right there we go. And
just right click, transform, click to fit to screen, Hobbit.
I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it the lazy way by putting it in the browser. So anyway,
there you go.
You need some own zone headphones to make it easier.
I sure do. Communist coercive methods for eliciting individual compliance. The
Hobbit, you need to drag it up the order a bit because the North picture and the Discord thing is on top of it.
Yeah.
Just get rid of the Discord thing.
People need that. This is important.
Yeah, but they can't read. Yeah, but they can't read it. You need to drag it up the order so it appears at the front.
Well,
this is already reminding me of one buddy Ralph's charts right reaction. You're not going to be telling us who's high IQ or working class.
So next you're going to be saying to me like, oh yeah, you know the audience are going to read this. I mean, if they're going to read this,
everyone I don't like is a working class dicko, isn't it, mate?
I've not been on since it was discovered by Ralph that James Goddard was higher IQ than Heavy. I couldn't help but laugh when
that chart was literally who do I like and who don't I like. That was literally it.
You made it into the middle class though, didn't you? But
lower middle. I think I'm lower middle class.
Oh right.
yes. Nothing's fucking working. I hate this. I blame all of you for it.
What?
Well, I'm trying to put things back on, but they're like, oh no, I don't want to work anymore, so I'm just going to fuck with you. Oh, well.
No, that's because you hid them. Show them again, and then just you grab that and you drag it up the order.
I didn't hide them. I was just the order anyway. It's different. You do stuff for a bit. I've got to bugger off for like 5 minutes. KFC. It is the host prerogative to get the other people to pick up the slack.
Banter nationalism.
Yeah.
Oh, but beware, guys. There is a counterfeit banter nationalism going on. There's some guy called Brutus or something insists on calling his show Banter Nationalism.
Who's he?
Yeah, the absolute cheek of the man.
Sorry, who was that? Who does a show called Banter Nationalism?
Yeah, somebody. I don't know. I can't remember the name.
No,
have you seen the presser going after Rashford now?
Oh, are they? What's he done or not done?
He's bought 5 luxury homes worth more than 2 million each. So,
oh yeah,
hold on.
Well, of course, Marcus Rashford has bought 5 luxury homes worth more than £2 million.
He could have fed starving children, starving fat kids with that, couldn't he?
Yeah, Wilmslow's a good area in Cheshire. Well, yeah, of course. It's funny. There must have been a falling out between him and one of his handlers, because obviously he's had somebody, a puppeteer on his side, pulling the strings recently. He's even got his own mural now.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen the mural. Well.
I believe it was in the Trafford area, or it might have been.
Does he have a halo? Does he?
He came from originally, but it's just, they present these people as gods, don't they? It's just part of the bread and circus, I suppose. We've got to look to these millionaire Africans to give us our moral compass and tell us that children need to eat food, apparently. Yeah, thank you. Marcus Rashford. But yeah, he's got all of his offshore accounts. He's got all his money invested in, funds managed by financial advisors. He's got his 5 homes, 6 luxury homes.
These must be purely either speculation or rental, aren't they? If he's bought 5 of them,
probably investments. But for this to happen, he must have had a falling out with someone, because obviously, he's had, like I said, he's got somebody on his side to promote him as a god and make murals to him, and put him in the press, in such a positive light. And
no, I think the mural was purely spontaneous. It was just someone so impressed with his with his ability, isn't it?
And you can tell what sort of individual he actually is, because when that mural was put up, he didn't come out and say no, that you put a mural to what they called someone that sacrifices themselves for a cause, a martyr, of course, yeah. But Mohamed Salah's got one in Liverpool as well. It's just they're literally
a graven image, that kind of
replacing our they're replacing our religious figures with these foreign footballers. It's well, I don't know.
Yeah, because I assume I don't know a great deal about the guy, but I assume Mo Salah's an Islam, is he?
An Islam. Yeah, he's from Egypt. Most of Egypt is along those lines, yeah. But anyway, I'll quickly, before Hobbit comes back, I've been watching a couple of documentaries on YouTube recently, and have you heard about the phenomena in Japan, Hemi, called hikikomori? Hikikomori.
No, what is it?
Quite an interesting story, or a phenomenon, like I say. About 1 million men in Japan are completely isolated and cut off from society, and they just don't leave their bedrooms. And the phenomenon is men, like middle-aged men, about 40 to 50 years old, have never integrated properly with society. They don't have a job. They don't have a significant other or children. And they just do not leave their bedroom. And they're supported by, their elderly parents.
They don't even go out to do banner drops.
So, well, but yeah, I was just watching a documentary about it, because I think
is this somehow related to the phenomena of, was it the panty vending machines?
Well, they do. Yeah, they do have. I mean, they have computer games where the main character tries to, the more women that you rape, the higher the score that you get. So that,
Jesus.
It shows that you don't need the 4x2s in charge of your media for things to degenerate.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, we really do need to have an intelligent adult discussion about the extent to which the 4x2s are influencing us, because I just get the feeling from them that they kind of ride waves. They don't really control. They don't start the waves.
Well, the way Dr. Patrick Slattery terms it is Jewish-dominated elites. And I like how he terms it, because, in the West, the elite is Jewish-dominated, but it's not entirely Jewish. No, and I think we should certainly pay a lot of attention to the traitors within our midst, as it were, because there are a hell of a lot of them, and there are not even just in terms of unscrupulous politicians, but what about all the businessmen that shut down the factories in this country and opened them in India just so they could.
Well, like we try and tell people. I mean, if we did the old Thanos snap tomorrow and they all went, someone would just take their place, wouldn't they?
Mind you, it would stop the bypass being built underneath Stonehenge, which they admitted will destroy it.
Would it? Would it, Hobbit?
Yeah, it would.
I mean, you look at. I mean, let's have a look at. I don't. What's does anybody know anything about Boris's current girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever she is? Because she's influencing him, and I mean, I thought he was supposed to be the big bad Jew.
Don't know. But I'm ready to do some content now. So this is that's fit to screen. I want that to be transform as fit to screen, stretch to screen. No.
Jay Warden says it's what happens when your country gets nuked twice. That and nonce cartoons.
Sure.
Good old Jay banging the nail on the head as always.
It sure is. So, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but apparently in the past few months there's been this pandemic that's gone along called chinkypox. Have you heard of?
Well, I've been aware there's something gone on, but I haven't noticed the pandemic.
Yeah, same here. So, I mean, the thing is, this sweet and sour sickin, which is going to kill us all. It's it's very very dangerous and stuff. So we've had to do measures like wearing masks, and according to the head of America's Center for Disease Control, Dr. Fauci, it's like, oh yeah, after the vaccine, and if you get it, you still got to wear a mask. It's like, all right. So what's the vaccine doing then? But anyway, the Biderman Report of 1956. You guys ever heard about this? This is news to me, but
No.
I'll read the bit at the bottom. It says, the chart of coercion above is drawn from the Biderman Report on communist brainwashing techniques used by the Chinese and North Koreans on captured American servicemen to make them psychological as well as physical prisoners. And it's by Dr. Alfred D. Biderman. Presented his report in New York Academy of Medicine 1956. Compare right column with your experience this year. And then it's got things like links to the Biderman Report and Amnesty International
So
Report
is this a report that's on the returning prisoners after VJ Day?
No. I assume this was like the Korean War. But so I'll read out the techniques which the communists did, and then we can compare it to our current situation and notice some similarities. So, isolation. Deprive individual social support of his ability to resist, makes individual dependent upon the captor, individual develops an intense concern with self. And compare that to the Ching Chong Chinky Pox, where we got social distancing, isolation from loved ones, massive job loss. Solitary confinement, semi-isolation, quarantines, containment camps, which we are seeing in places like Canada and New Zealand, and I'm sure it's going out throughout other countries, but they don't talk about them.
The only slight difference with that is they're developing like an intense concern for others, isn't it? Like, you don't wear the mask for yourself, you wear it for other people, because obviously it's bollocks. But it's bollocks, but keep wearing the mask because it's not for you, it's for other people, is the way they're kind of selling it. So that's the nitpicking that I'd do with that.
Honestly, I just wear a mask because it's easier than arguing with a bunch of sheep. But anyway,
Yeah.
Monopolisation of perception fixes all attention upon immediate predicament. Frustrate all actions not consistent with compliance. Eliminate stimuli competing with those controlled by the captor. The BBC seems to be doing a good job of that at the moment. So, what we got in the modern day, we got restricting movement, creating monotony and boredom, prevent gathering, meetings, concerts or sports, dominate all media, the 24/7, I hate that, censor information. So, then, induced debility and exhaustion, weaken mental and physical ability to resist, people become worn out by tension and fear. And now, forced to stay at home. All media is negative, not permitted to exercise or socialise. Pubs are closed, gyms are closed. Mosques aren't. Threats.
I don't know. You do have that awful Pinky Ponky happy music, when some comedians doing the everybody, let's do a webcam all together because we're all in this together. Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure the communists is doing as well, playing cheerful music and like, we're not your captors, we're your liberators. We're here to help. Yeah. So threats, cultivate anxiety and despair.
One of my favourite memes. It's the eagle carrying the rabbit away during a forest fire, and the kid shouts, "Look, that eagle's helping that rabbit to safety."
That's it. Yeah. And giving demands and consequences for non-compliance. And now we have threats and intimidation.
Yeah, fines.
Threatened,
intimidation,
close business and levy fines.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got no pubs which do that stuff. Predict extension of quarantine. Oh yeah, guys, if you don't go in the lockdown, we might have to cancel Christmas. Force vaccines. Create containment camps for the non-compliant. So I'll be looking for. You know what? It will be nice when we're all in the camps and we're able to gather together. So look forward to seeing you in the non-compliance camps.
The one I'll nitpick with that one is cultivates anxiety and despair. They're not really doing that. They're selling you a light at the end of the tunnel, which obviously you will never get to. So they're doing it the other way with the pan. Just do this for a bit longer. Just do it for a bit longer and we'll be through this. Do it for a bit longer and we'll be through this. 15 years later, still wearing masks. I think that's what they're gonna. I think that's the way they're doing it so far, isn't it?
I think the cultivating despair bit is like, you should be eating insects. You should be eating insects, and they've been on this for at least 10 years that I know of. Saying,
look at all these darkies in the adverts.
Yeah.
You should be a darkie. Why aren't you a darkie?
And why aren't you eating insects?
Yeah, having children is irresponsible as well because it damages the environment.
Yeah.
So we got occasional indulgences, then was providing motivation for compliance, hinder adjustment to deprivation, create hope for change, reduce resistance. This keeps people unsure of what is happening. Now our occasional indulgences are allow reopening of some stores and services, like when the pubs...
Which can be taken away at any time.
Yeah, like the pubs.
Yeah.
Let restaurants open but only at a certain capacity. Increase more people allowed to gather. Yeah.
Increase more people allowed to gather.
I think Hemi might have written that one. He's auditioning for the Daily Mail.
Follow concessions with tougher rules. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's just like, good news, everyone, you can get your hair cut again. Yay, I get to look forward to something that was normal. But
your barber isn't allowed to talk to you, and he has to wear a silly fucking splash card fucking mask.
Oh,
that was literally the rule, wasn't it? The barber isn't allowed to talk to the person whose hair they're cutting.
Was that actually a rule? I didn't know it's an actual
rule. Yeah. That was an actual rule earlier on this year.
Well, I'm really glad my barber ignored that because I was just really fucked off with all of this, and I was like, this mask is fucking gay. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to take the mask off whilst you cut around my ears. Yeah, well, good thing that the fucking disease knows that you're cutting around my ears and won't infect me now. It's like, I'm sorry, I hope you don't. It's like, mate, look, if I do get infected, it's not your fucking fault. And I'm not what I mean. It's like saying, I hope I don't get the cold this year. I mean, if I get the fucking cold, but anyway, this.
I'm quite encouraged by the amount of people I'm seeing and speaking to that aren't wearing masks during this current lockdown.
Good. So, demonstrating omnipotence. You demonstrate your futility of resistance, you show who's in charge, and you provide positive motivation and compliance. That was the old communist stuff. But now...
Yeah, but is Boris really showing... Well, Boris is showing who's in charge, that silly fucking Carrie bitch that he's fucking been cucked by.
Well, I would say that's been highlighted. Demonstrate the futility of resistance by just how hard the police come down on people that's protesting the lockdowns. They were attacking them again just yesterday, I believe.
Well,
yeah, I mean, completely different to the BLM protest, weren't it?
Of course, but it shows the police are out in full force and will attack anyone that doesn't think they need to follow these tyrannical rules. So yeah, that's. I
mean,
that's certainly ticks off
right now. The police are just there to keep Whitey down. They're there to enforce that the workers stay in line. But anyway, that was the old evil communist system, which we all know is bad. But now we got demonstrating omnipotence, shut down entire economies across the world, create money out of nowhere and force dependency. I believe that happened in America with the $1,200 stimulus checks. And you develop a total surveillance with nanochips and 5G. Well, that's not necessary really, because everyone I know is downloading the Track and Trace app and look, you got to put your name in the pub. Yeah, my name's John Smith and I live at 123 fuck off Downing Street. So
yeah, exactly. I when I first went to a pub on the last lockdown, and my details were entered, something very similar to that in a pub that I entered. But creating money out of nowhere, that's your 80% furlough payments, isn't it? Which are going to be, I mean, if our generation and the coming generation wasn't crippled enough by what will be unsustainable pension payments, they're going to be paying this 80% furlough for decades. It's yeah. So create money out of nowhere.
To correct that,
somebody's going to have to cover this bill.
They're going to have us pretend to pay it back. You know what Phil says, that like tax payments are neither in or there. They just use it to keep inflation in check, don't they?
I would say all the taxes are a form of social engineering because they control people's behaviours. They're not even about inflation. It's just you put taxes on certain things and it changes people's behaviour. But anyway, we demonstrated impotence. So how did the communists do degradation? They make resistance seem worse than compliance, create feelings of helplessness, creates fear of freedom and depends upon captors. So that was the old evil communists. But what have we got now? We've got shame people refuse masks and don't distance, make people stand on circles.
Nobody distances. People wear the masks and they're all up in your fucking grill, and when you're in a shop, aren't they? Like nobody is. I certainly haven't noticed anybody social distancing. I think people see it as you either wear the mask or you social distance. You don't do both.
Well, the great thing with this lockdown is, I'm bored. Shall we go to no? All the cafes are closed. Shall we go to pub? No, they're closed. Should we go to church? What's that? What's open then? Supermarket. All right, let's go.
Oh, the churches were the first to go close, weren't they?
Let's go to the supermarket then. So every single fucker is in the supermarket, cheek by jowl. So,
yeah.
Because there's nothing else to do. It's just like, shall I stay at home, watch the telly? No, I want to go out and go to the supermarket.
Like you say, if they threw everything open and people behave like normal, they would be social distancing because everyone would have their own space to do stuff.
Well, that was the other thing I noticed with the lockdown. It's like, even in my town, it's like second lockdown, and I see people with shopping trolleys full of bog roll. I'm like, what? Did your supply in March run out? So make people stand outside and wait in queues. Sanitation stations in every shop. Yeah, there's been shops where like they said, oh, you have to wait outside. I'm like, no, fuck off. I'm going elsewhere. And I've been really bloody cross with it. It's like, look, I'm trying to support local businesses, but if I can't just come in, if I have to wait outside, then fuck you, I'm going to order it on Amazon, which is exactly what they want. But anyway,
yeah.
And then finally we got enforcing trivial demands. And this was, let's read what the evil communists did. You develop habits of compliance. Your demands are made illogical and contradictory. Look, social distance, but the only thing's open.
Yeah, making your mask out of t-shirt material.
Yeah, or orange netting. Rules on compliance may change, and reinforces who is in control. And now, family members must stand apart. Masks in home, and even while having sex. Oh, I got a brilliant headline about that, actually. It's from Belgium. Random limits on people allowed to be together, like the rule of 6, unless it's for a work function. So, you know what? If you've got a family more than 6 for Christmas, you register yourself as John Smith Limited, or whatever your family's called. You have all of your family members as employees on 0-hour contracts, and you say you're attending a non-paid work function at your house, where there'll be drinks and refreshments and such, and then finally sanitizers used over and over in a day. So there we go. That's the chart of coercion, and don't we all feel better for having?
And something that preempts all of this is the removal of religion from society, so that people no longer look to the Bible, for instance, for their rule book on life. They look to the government, as being the provider, and this is why so many people are still supporting and protecting, the almighty government, because the government is everything to them now. It's taking. Well, it's
the government, and it's
ungodly proportions.
It's the government and its only begotten son, the NHS, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you have to worship the NHS, of course.
Yeah, the NHS is Christ on earth, isn't it?
I started, I thought, okay, I'll read the Bible. I was like, God, reading this is a pile of shit. I'll have someone read it to me whilst I do other things. And I'm halfway through Genesis, and there's this story about, I think his
Phil Collins.
Yeah, actually, Phil Collins, it's in the Bible, and he's saying to Isaac, who's the son of Abraham, he's saying, like, hey, why are you blessing your other son and you're not blessing me? Have you only got one blessing? and he's getting like really petulant. It's like, come on, bless me, bless me, bless me, bless me, bless me, bless me. And then eventually he says, "Oh, right then. I think I'll have to listen to it again because, like, that didn't stay." And there was this other story about someone else called Jacob or Israel. And he was
Anyway,
like,
Hobbit, you're not allowed to read the Bible because Saint Niall said you're not a Christian.
yeah, well, he's an orphan, or what does he know? So there was
Saint Niall also says Africans can be English, so take what he says with a grain of salt.
Saint Noel also wants us to live in shitty brick house developments and not hobbit holes, so he can fuck right off. You say, why doesn't every house in England look like this? Because some builders had taste. That's why. But anyway, so there was this story in the Bible.
Is Niall a bit of a Dino then? Is he?
I don't know. So there was this story in the Bible. I think. Oh, who what? It was basically someone who owned like property and stuff, and guy says, "I fancy your daughter." She says, "Yeah." He says, "You know what? I fancy her so much that I agree to be an indentured servant for you for 7 years, and at the end of it, will you give me your daughter's hand in marriage?" And the guy.
This sounds like some sort of sex kink thing.
It's weird. I mean, you know, I can understand why Jesus hated these people. I really do. But he says, "Yeah, all right, that sounds like a good idea." And he's got his fingers crossed behind his back while he's doing it. So the 7 years go up, and he keeps changing the terms of the contract, saying, "Oh, can you come in on Sunday?" So, "What do you mean? I live here as an indentured servant." "Yeah, but can you do an extra shift?" And, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't pay you anything. But if you do all that work, then you'll definitely, something good will happen." So anyway, the 7 years comes up. And it's like, "Right, I'm ready for your daughter's hand in marriage." It's like, lol, she doesn't marry an indentured servant. Fuck off. And it's like, "But I worked for you for 7 years. Were you telling me you've reneged on the contract?" "Yes. And God the Lord said I could do this because I'm chosen." "Yeah, so fuck off." And that was it. That was the entirety of the story. I'm hoping somebody in the chat goes, "Oh, the story you're actually talking about is Rebecca and Esau and blah, 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 blah." And it's like, you know the one, it's in Genesis, he agrees to work for this man for 7 years for his daughter's hand in marriage, and the end of it, he reneges on the deal because, I don't know, he's...
So is the Old Testament just God telling us how bad these people are?
Pretty much. And the New Testament's also God telling us how bad these people are. But the New Testament's better because the New Testament's not so... Oh, here's another story in Genesis, right? So there was this... there's this tribe and they were uncircumcised, and they said, "Well, you can marry our daughters, but you have to be circumcised, and then you can have our daughters, we'll have your daughters, and we'll become one tribe and one nation, and it'll be great, it'll be peace and all that." So these men, for whatever reason, agreed to the circumcision, and on the third day, whilst they're still recovering from the wounds, the other tribe's like, "LOL, no, we're going to kill you all." And they couldn't fight because they're all like, their dicks really hurt. So, what does this tell me? It's like, wow, these people are really real arseholes. Fuck them. Pharaoh was right to kick them out of his land.
This is but no, Hobbit, you've got it all wrong. They're really scared of Hitler. That's what they're really scared of. They're terrified of Hitler.
Yeah, and it just that and Jesus. You mention the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, and see how they recoil. It's just like
they're not scared of Hitler at all. They fucking love it. You can almost hear the hands rubbing every time a new Nazi's been minted.
I think Charlie Manson summed it up right. He says, "You know what? I was padded up with a Jew, and he was telling me about how evil Hitler was." And I was like, "You don't hate Hitler. He's your daddy. You love Hitler. You've just got daddy issues."
Base Charlie Manson.
Oh God! Oh, I wish I hadn't read chat now. Damien, you have my sympathy. I'm not reading it out, but Damien can sympathise with that tribe that was circumcised and massacred subsequently.
No, that's not what he's talking about. My mate did that while he was banging away on a bird.
Oh, yeah, that's happened to a friend.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah, that's happened to a friend of mine as well.
Yeah. And to top it off...
I mean, I don't know if you guys want to do anything, but... I've got the loading thing. Chat, I don't know if this is still working, but it says it's not here.
Oh, it's
Are we-
happening to you as well, Hobbit.
Yeah.
Are we buffering? I've just been trying to ascertain if we're still live.
Yeah, well, we're in the second hour now, so you joined us back for Banter Nationalism version C.
No, you're not buffering. According to me, you're not buffering.
Oh, okay. It was buffering my end anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to see I'm not the only person. I'm not the only person that does it too. Obviously, YouTube doesn't like OBS anymore. Then.
Oh, it's playing funny buggers, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
there was a story I saw, and it is a heroic story. So I think we need something to cheer us up after Bible studies and stuff like this. So have you heard about Flight 5390?
What?
You've not heard of Flight 5390? Bloke got sucked out of a plane. The pilot got sucked out of a plane.
No, I haven't heard of us. No.
That's the last person you'd want to get sucked out of the plane.
Yeah.
Have I got a Bobby Dazzler for you? Right, I'll put it.
It reminds me of a bad joke I once heard, and bloke was saying about what a bad time he'd had when he went on holiday. He said, "Oh, there's this bloke on the plane." He was shouting, "If God had meant us to fly, we wouldn't have had wings," and that was the pilot.
So this is a real Bobby Dazzler feud here. Okay, so it says Flight 5390. Sometimes when life is very stressful, I like to remind myself of Flight 5390. The year was 1990. The day was the 10th of June. Fucking colonials. It was a Sunday. Gremlins 2 was in the cinemas. Good film. And the captain of British Airways Flight 5390 got sucked out of his own plane when the window fell off. Captain Tim was the one who got sucked.
I don't think it fell off, did it? It didn't just fallen off.
It's saying this post is for paying subscribers. Well, I can summarise the thing. So Flight 3390.
Did he die? What happened, Hobbit?
Wow, this is the thing. The navigator held on to his legs because they assumed he was dead.
How could he hold on to his legs when he dragged at 600 miles per hour the other way?
Well, can you see the photograph? It's showing that he was clinging on for dear life, and
surely it'd be so powerful that he wouldn't be able to hold on though.
Well, you know what? They did hold on to the guy. They managed to successfully land, and the reason they were holding on to the pilot's legs was not so that he's probably still alive. We'll hold on to him, and it'll be great. You know
what'd be funny if they managed to hold him on the entire. Did the landing, and then the guy that's got his legs there just right, we've done it, and he just let go, but the guy just fell the 10 meters.
No,
to the floor.
no. The funny bit would be if he's hanging onto the legs, pulls him in, and it's just the legs. He got ripped off.
That's a bit morbid. But anyway, no. What actually happened was so they said to the pilot, look, hold on to this guy, right, because if you don't, you could get sucked into the engine, and then we'll have a broken window and an engine failure, and you don't need that. You don't need a loss of engine power when already you've got major turbulence because the cockpit's all open to the air. But anyway,
is this a legitimate story? It sounds like something more you'd have on the 40N stream.
Really
did it really happen?
Right, Flight 5390. I'm on Microsoft Bing right now. British Airways Flight 5390 on Wikipedia. Here we go. So
did Bigfoot verify the story? Was he sat on E26 or something? And he,
Lord Lucan was the one holding his legs.
It's been officially debunked by Snopes, so we know it's true. Right, here I am on Wikipedia, and I shall read it out now. British Airways Flight 5390 was a flight from Birmingham Airport in England to Malaga Airport in Spain that suffered explosive decompression with no loss of life.
But you walking in fresh snow, there was just a big crunching sound.
Yes, I like to walk through snow whilst I tell these stories to the audience. An improperly installed windscreen panel separated from its frame, causing the plane's captain to be blown partially out of the aircraft. With the captain pinned against the window frame for 20 minutes, the first officer landed at Southampton Airport. Oh, they didn't get to Malaga? God, I bet if I wasn't there, it'd be like typical. Oh no, I'm gonna have to wait more at the airport again. So aircraft and crew.
If that captain was a proper British man, he'd have gone. Look, chaps, I don't want to cause any trouble. Just let's get this flight to Malaga, shall we? I don't want to cause you any trouble, chaps. These lovely people have got to get on holiday.
He might have died of hypothermia in the meantime, and but anyway, aircraft and crew. The country of South Glamorgan was a BAC 111 series 52E FL jet. No, BAC 111. BAC 111. Also, it's an aircraft made by the British Aircraft Corporation. Nice. Anyway, well, except for the explosive decompression.
Well, it's BOAC now, isn't it?
Oh. Okay.
Well, I was going to say I've not heard of it. I'd be surprised if this was happening.
Yeah, so the aircraft first flew on the 8th of February 1971 and was delivered to Bavaria Fluggesellschaft on the 26th of February 1971. It was later transferred to Bavaria Germanair in 1977. Hapag Lloyd Flug in 1979. British Caledonia
Easy for you to say.
In 1981. I know. Try saying that after a couple of ice block beers. And finally to British Airways in 1988. The captain was 42-year-old Timothy Lancaster, who had logged 11,050
Timothy Lancaster bomber.
Timothy bombed them again Lancaster with 11,050 confirmed kills, including 1,075 hours on the BAC 111. The co-pilot was 39-year-old Alistair Aitchison, or AA for short, with 7,500 flight hours, with 1,100 of them on the BAC 111. The aircraft also carried full cabin crew.
How many of those did he practice hanging out the window of?
Wow, I would say probably one or two. The aircraft, how long does it take to fly from Birmingham Airport to Southampton? The aircraft also carried full cabin crew and 81 passengers. Incident. Aitchison handled a routine takeoff at 8:20 local time, or that's 7:20 Universal Time Coordinated, then handed control to Lancaster.
Hobbit, GMT, please. We don't use UTC, we use GMT here.
But I don't know if it's British Summer Time or Greenwich Mean Time. But anyway,
UTC is Newspeak.
Oh right. Oh yeah, it says here it's effectively a successor to Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah.
Oh okay, so in other words, it was 8:20 BST. Both pilots released their shoulder harnesses, and Lancaster loosened his lap belt. Yeah, getting nice and comfortable.
Had a big dinner.
Yeah. And a big breakfast. At 8:33 or 7:33 GMT, the plane had climbed through about 17,300 feet over Didcot in Oxfordshire, and the cabin crew were
he had an Olympic at the Little Chef.
preparing for meal service. Flight attendant Nigel Ogden was entering the cockpit when there was a loud bang. Citation needed. Yep, there's the citation. And the cabin quickly filled with condensation. The left windscreen panel on Lancaster's side of the flight deck had separated from the forward fuselage. Lancaster was propelled out of his seat by the rushing from the air from decompression and was forced headfirst out of the flight deck. His knees were caught on the flight controls and his upper torso remained outside the aircraft, exposed to extreme wind and cold. Yeah, I mean, it's anywhere from like minus 20 to minus 50 degrees out there.
Bit parky.
Yeah,
it's a bit parky out.
Oh, especially if you're just wearing like your British Airways uniform. The autopilot.
Yeah, because they're like short sleeves, aren't they, as well?
Yeah, they're not really designed to be worn outside the plane in flight. The autopilot.
I bet he had nipples like chapalat pegs, didn't he? He could poke someone's eye out there.
God. There'd be icicles hanging off of them when they get down. But anyway, the autopilot disengaged, causing the plane to descend rapidly. The flight deck door was blown inward onto the control console, blocking the throttle control, causing the aircraft to gain speed as it descended. And
holy fuck!
Shit. Papers and debris blew into the flight deck from the passenger cabin. Ogden rushed to grab Lancaster's belt, while the other two flight attendants secured loose objects, reassured passengers, and instructed them to adopt brace positions in anticipation of an emergency landing. I could just imagine the passengers, the Brummies, like, oh, when's we going to get to Malaga? I don't want to end up in fucking Didcot. Oh, it's all holidays that then. Oh, fucking suffered. I'll get you, Parky. The plane was not equipped with oxygen for everybody on board, so HSM began a rapid emergency descent to reach an altitude with sufficient air pressure. Oh, I bet he'll get a bollocking from British Airways. Like, you descended to a suboptimal altitude. Do you realise how many gallons of fuel you wasted doing that? He then re-engaged the autopilot and broadcast.
This reminds me of that Jethro joke, the one where he says, "I'm flying the plane and I'm upside down. How do you know you're upside down? Because the shit's running out me colour."
So he re-engaged the autopilot and broadcast a distress call, but it was unable to hear a response from air traffic control because of wind noise. The difficulty in establishing two-way communication led to a delay in the initiation of emergency procedures. Ogden, still holding on to Lancaster, was by now developing frostbite and exhaustion, so Chief Steward John Heward and Flight Attendant Simon Rogers took over the task of holding on to the captain. By this time, Lancaster had shifted several inches farther outside and his head was repeatedly striking the side of the fuselage. The crew believed him to be dead, but Aitchison told the others to continue holding on to him out of fear that letting go of him might cause him to strike the left wing, engine, or horizontal stabiliser, potentially damaging it. Eventually, Aitchison was able to hear the clearance from air traffic control to make an emergency landing at Southampton Airport. The flight attendants managed to free Lancaster's ankles from the flight controls while still keeping hold of him. At 8:55 local time, or 7:55 GMT, the aircraft landed at Southampton and the passengers disembarked using boarding steps. Lancaster survived with frostbite, bruising, shock, and fractures to his right arm, left thumb, and right wrist.
He got shock? Never. Never.
Ogden dislocated a shoulder and had frostbite on his face with damage to one eye. Oh, Jesus. There are no other major
that
injuries.
means he probably lost his career over that then, didn't he?
Does a steward need to have, two eyes to do his job?
But, was he a steward, was he? Oh, I thought
Yeah,
he was a co-pilot or something.
Mind you, you can't really fly if you've got a broken left thumb, right wrist, and right arm. But I don't know. But anyway, so investigation.
No, I meant the guy who was saving the guy that got sucked out could have lost his career over it, couldn't he?
Yeah. Well, police found the windscreen panel and many of the 90 bolts securing it near Cholsley in Oxfordshire. Investigators found that when the windscreen was installed 27 hours before the flight, 84 of the bolts were using 0.026 inches or 0.66 mil to small in diameter. So it was 0.66 mil, too small in diameter, with the British standards of 80 blah blah blah. There's a bunch of numbers.
Oh, so it ripped the threads off it then, basically.
Well, they were just too small, and there's 6 remaining.
Yeah. Boy, I hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
I could just imagine some Norbert in Birmingham going, "Oh, it's more than my job's worth. Use a couple of them. That'll be fine." Anyway, it says
it'll be grand.
Yeah, and then it's like, but they're saying the remaining 6 were, the A211-7Ds. Oh yeah, those ones are the correct diameter, but they were 0.1 inches too short. The previous windscreen had also been fitted using incorrect bolts. Oh, well, that's the bolts they used, and we'll just carry on using it. I'll be fine. Which were replaced by the shift maintenance manager on a like-for-like basis, without reference to the maintenance documentation, as the plane was due to depart shortly.
Well, you got to get it out, haven't you?
I mean, to be fair, I can understand that. I mean, they could be like, well, those are the ones they're using. There must be a good reason those ones are being used. And there's been no major instance yet, so we'll carry on using them. Does it seem a bit short to you? I don't know, mate. It's more than my job's worth. Just put in like for like.
Yeah. Well, that isn't like for like then, is it? If they put the wrong fucking diameter in.
Well, they say like for like because the previous panel had been installed using incorrect bolts. So there's just just match up.
Oh, it's all right then.
Yeah, just match up the previous bolts. The undersized bolts were unable to withstand the air pressure difference between the cabin and the outside atmosphere during flight. The windscreen was not of the plug type fitted from the inside, so that cabin pressure helps hold it in place, but the type fitted from the outside, so the cabin pressure tends to dislodge it. Bit of a design flaw. I think that's probably been superseded now. Investigators found the shift maintenance manager responsible for installing the incorrect bolts had failed to follow British Airways policies. They recommended that the CAA recognise the need for aircraft engineering personnel to wear corrective glasses if prescribed. They also faulted the policies themselves, which should have required testing or verification by another individual for this critical task. Finally, they found the local Birmingham Airport management responsible for not directly monitoring the shift maintenance manager's working practices, and that's got a citation 4. And there's a big report on
Well,
that.
the main problem being they employed Brummies.
Yeah. Oh, you know. Oh, job's a good one. Yeah. All my job's worth.
They'll be alright, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Busted is Friday, lads. Just put whatever in, mate.
Oh, you don't want to get on in the pub? Awards. First Officer Alistair Stewart Aitchison, ASA, and cabin crew members Susan Gibbons and Nigel Ogden. These are proper British names, aren't they?
Gibbons, yeah, I've known a few
Aitchison,
Gibbons in my time.
Ogdens were awarded the Queen's Commendation for valuable service in the air. Ogden's name was erroneously missed from the published supplement. Aitchison was awarded a 1992 Polaris Award for his ability and heroism. Aftermath. The aircraft was repaired and returned to service, mentioning being sold to Gero International in 1993. It was Gero International.
Yeah, so like fly-by-night outfit. Hey.
Charter airline based at Oral Viasiu International Airport in Bucharest, Romania. Oh, so it's gone to the Jippos. It continued to operate with them until Gero ceased operations in 2001, the aircraft going on to be scrapped the same year and all the copper being nicked out of it. Tim Lancaster returned to work after less than 5 months. Blimey! He retired from British Airways in 2003 and flew with EasyJet until he retired from commercial piloting in 2008.
I bet he don't have a window seat when he goes on a plane, does he?
Hey! Alistair Aitchison retired from British Airways shortly after the incident and joined Jet2.com and remained flying until he made his last commercial flight on the Boeing 737-3AA, registration G-CELE.
There's some real fucking nerd hours going on in this Wikipedia, mate.
Oh yeah, from Alicante to Manchester on the 28th of June 2015 on their 65th birthday. So yeah, I mean, train spotters can't hold a candle to plane spotters, and that was
Yeah, I mean, plane spotters are hardcore, aren't they? They'll even stand there and get fucking arrested, won't they? Do you remember all the problems with the plane spotters getting arrested? Do you remember that?
I have driven.
Don't be upsetting Adam, the train spotter.
I have driven a few times past Bryce Norton, and there's like plane spotters there, and occasionally I just see the military police go along, and they're actually questioning them, and I just thought, oh, they're just plane spotters, but I suppose they're looking for like plane spotters. His name's like Ahmed, and it's like, how many goats have you shagged this week?
Oh
Well,
no! If their name's Ahmed, they just get waved straight on, don't they?
I was going to say it might be like the My Name Is Earl policeman. He takes you around the colour chart, and he's got different shades of makeup, and it's very white to very brown. And he just somebody gets a tan, and he puts his key, his index on the white to brown. He was just looking at it, say, hey, you better stay out of the sun, fella. We'll be looking after. We'll be looking to arrest you soon.
Oh, but it's the other way round now these days. I mean, if you're a certain amount of pale, it's just like, oh, okay, I can beat you. And it's like, oh, he's too dark, leave him to quiet. It's all gone topsy-turvy these days.
I blame the the McPherson report. I mean, instead of banging on about fucking World War II, our guys really should be talking about the real stuff that changed this country, like the McPherson report and Tony Blair changing laws here, there, and everywhere.
Oh, what, like, first thing is like, yeah, I'm going to repeal treason. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're not planning on doing anything treason? Oh, no, of course not. No.
The McPherson report was the report after, after Stephen Lawrence's murder.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's actually a day next year, isn't there? They're really taking the Stephen Lawrence thing to the next level. There will be a Stephen Lawrence Day next year.
Saint Stephen of Lawrence Day.
Yeah, so he's got a sainthood now, apparently. But in terms of, I was just talking about this with someone before, words like treason and traitor, you just don't see them written in media anymore. I don't think they even want people to know what those words mean. They're just not fashionable anymore, are they? Because there is so much of it going on.
Treason's something that Henry VIII used to do, isn't it? It's Henry VIII used to have to deal with. There's no way that current politicians could be treasonous, is there? No matter what they do with Brexit.
Well, of course. I mean, how many years can you? And that's gone very quiet, by the way, hasn't it?
You wish it had stayed quiet, because apparently they reckon Dominic Cummings going means that there's going to be a massive fucking U-turn on the horizon for Brexit.
So the guy that was seeing it through was just giving up and
yeah, he's got
full pension.
Basically, I said Brutus. I meant Boris. Basically, Boris is ruled by Carrie now, isn't he? That's the nation's political direction is held in her hands, not the electorate. It's not the people that voted him into power. Is Dizzy Tart? That's who's running the country now.
It was very similar in America. Ivanka Trump via Jared Kushner was in Trump's ear. So two people that weren't elected were massively influencing policy.
Wasn't Sherry Blair also pushing Tony to do things, wasn't she?
Yeah, but I don't think she had to push him very hard. What a fucking... Well, he really was.
Piece of shit, isn't he?
Are we interested
living in Monaco now?
Are we interested in that Cherie Blair, nay Cherie Booth, was the descendant of John Wilkes Booth, who shot Abraham Lincoln?
I know she's also the descendant of the the layabout from Till Death Do Us Part.
Oh, what? Warren Mitchell?
Yeah, Tony Booth, Sherry Blair's dad was in Till Death Do Us Part. He was the layabout son-in-law.
Oh, that's interesting, because the lead guy in it, who's supposed to be like our version of Archie Bunker, was played by Warren Mitchell, whose real name is Ron Mizell, who's, if you go on the early life, it's like he's the son of Russian Jews.
Yeah. Much like Al Murray used to do the bit as well, didn't he? Where people think he's based, but he's actually taking the piss out of the people. He's taking the piss out of his own fans, isn't he?
I remember once I was on BritVox, they were doing like a promoted tweet, and I said, "Hey, where's In Sickness and in Health Until Death Us Do Us Part?" And then some like random normie just responded like, "Oh no, that stuff's none of that rubbish." So it's like, "What do you mean rubbish? I thought it was funny."
How dare you be so anti-Semitic? That's what you should have said, Albert.
Well, that's the thing. You obviously read my post, because
oh no, is that what you said?
I said to him, I said to him, what do you mean it's rubbish? Like, oh, it's racist filth. And I was like, hang about, that's very anti-Semitic. I'm just a fan of good Jewish comedy. Warren Mizell is one of my favourite comedic actors.
I bet he dropped it like a live hand grenade after you put that one back.
Oh, there was no responses to that. Put it that way. It was like today, for example, where Scuggy and them lot, they were arguing with someone on Twitter about nation and race and that stuff, and so I posted like the dictionary definition of nation being like a nation is comprised of the people. So, for example, the Navajo nation. And I looked up ethnicity. Ethnicity is like also means nation.
It's a key component. You don't have a nation without the people of a nation, which are defined by their ethnicity.
Yeah, so I looked up ethnicity, and it's basically synonymous with nation. They both mean the same thing. So I said to this bloke with our argument, I said, "Hey, so when you're saying ethno-state, is that just another way of saying nation?" And then you're saying, "No, it's not." So I said, "Oh, okay then." I just thought, I'm not going to argue it because I've just proven with the dictionary that you're full of fucking shit.
Well, come on, Hobbit. You've got to, channel your inner no white guilt and use the lexicon that will remonstrate with our people within our sphere of influence. And if ethno state, I think it works ethno state because the word nation has been, it's been changed really.
Nation is more like the paperwork that you filled out to reside in a country, isn't it?
If you think nation means England is English, well, put on the England football game and see what nation means to people these days. It doesn't mean a people and an ethnicity.
As if 11 nuggaboos on the football pitch
So
represents the nation.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. You are technically right, but I think using the term ethno state, might be. It makes very clear what you're talking about. Where you're coming from.
Yeah, but
I'm surprised. Scuggy's still. Is he on about his 19th account now, Scuggy, on Twitter?
he's been banned 109 times, but he's going back.
Yeah, it was never his fault.
Are you just coming out of one ear or something? Because everyone's saying they can't hear you properly in chat.
Oh.
Banter Nationalism and Hobbit coming in your ears.
Well, according to OBS, my voice is that it's in the yellow and your voices are in the red. So maybe I need to be like, how about that? Is that any better?
Sure. Yeah, you need to be.
That's like AMS.
Yeah.
What do we call it? ASMR.
ADHD.
Yeah. You should do that when you're playing Warhammer Hobbit for 8 hours at a time or whatever. Just do some ASMR for people to fall asleep to.
Hey, I'm playing Fallout 4 for 8 hours at a time. The other one we're doing short little bits. But yeah.
Is that another shoot 'em up?
Fallout 4, it's a boring role play game which
it's a walking simulator, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's a mod for it called Sim Settlement, so I'm going around and building up villages and trying to get them to trade with one another and build themselves up as opposed to doing everything for them.
I've been playing Lego DC villains. I like the Lego games because they're just like old-fashioned platformers, aren't they? So that's why I enjoy them.
When are we doing Killing Floor 2 to further the cause of nationalism? Killing Floor 2.
Yeah.
Have you been? You not been playing online with any 16-year-old boys? Have you? Hemi?
No.
No.
There's nothing I really play online anyway on the PS4. Anyway, to be honest.
No, you not been playing with any 16-year-old boys and later getting them arrested. No.
I don't know. They're all otherwise engaged. Aren't they helping the police with their inquiries? A lot of 16-year-old boys at the moment.
If anybody in the chat has played the new Final Fantasy VII remake, let me know if it's any good. I think I'll be investing in a PlayStation 5 when they come out, and just for the purpose of getting this game, maybe a couple of others just to.
The PS5,
you wouldn't what?
The PS5 monitors you, and if you say any naughty words, then your account gets cancelled.
Oh, geez, really? What if I just buy the games? The actual physical game.
Yeah, no, your account gets cancelled, and if you say like really naughty words, they'll inform the police, and then you get a knock on the door. So,
bloody hell, is it that bad?
It's like Alexa, but it plays games and it's more expensive.
I did remember watching a little skit somebody made, in the 1950s when they were talking about the government bugging your house and how they were paranoid about the phone and they'd always be on top of these things. But now, fast forward 70 years or so, we're paying hundreds of pounds for the government to, for the bugging our house.
Well, yeah, I mean, those with the track and trace and all that, it's just it's sad. I don't like it. It's annoying, and I'm very cross. And I'm going to sign a petition, and that's going to solve it, guys. I'm going to do a petition. Going to sign a petition. It's going to get 100,000 signatures, and the government goes, Oh look, well, it's a petition. People say they don't want this tyranny to continue, so we're just gonna have to roll it all.
Well, I'll wipe my ass on it and just.
Well,
Look! Here's another petition signed by 12 people to make hate laws more draconian. Oh, we'll do that one.
Yeah. Well, the findings from the grooming scandal, was it 500,000 signatures eventually that was on that, and they just ignored it. To release, publish the findings of this investigation. No, fuck off.
Well,
was the answer.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, demanded to know who's been gang raping your children.
Yeah.
So you know chip adverts and stuff like that.
I used to follow a YouTuber who was very keen on doing
Everybody
YouTube
loves
videos.
Is the chip advert out this year yet? Is the chip advert review out this year yet?
I tell you what, I have seen one Christmas advert. John Lewis, I think it was shot in India, and it can't have been shot in Great. It's really bad there. I mean, it's about 3 minutes long. It keeps popping up on YouTube. Jeez.
So I tell you,
Yeah,
I tell you guys what, right? So we're in hour 1.5 of this 2-hour show, and I think it's time. We're from our sponsors. We'd like some chips, so I'm just gonna share the screen so you guys.
JML do chips.
So we're gonna go this thing.
Are we gonna have this year's McCain Christmas advert?
No, because JML have got the solution for us. We don't.
Oh yes, the kind of chip adverts that we want that the public is screaming out for.
But they're such.
Oh, sorry. I'm rewinding this from the start. So, guys, this is the chip advert we want to see. It's brought to you by JML.
Everybody loves
darkies
homemade
allowed.
chips, but they're such a hassle to prepare.
Oh
Not
no, they're all
anymore.
black and white. And
Introducing JML
she's used
Quick
a completely
Chips,
inappropriate
the fast
knife.
and easy way to make
look at
natural
that.
cut chips in
look
seconds.
at that.
All you do is place and push for quick chips every time.
Place and
Nothing could be
push.
easier
Show me that
or
again.
faster. Make delicious homemade
No,
chips.
you've got to read out
Sweet
instructions.
potato fries. Or how about
Just
healthy
place
veggie
and push.
fries?
Ooh.
Or sliced apple and cinnamon the
Actually,
kids
that
will
sounds
love.
good. Yeah.
The secret to quick chips is its unique cross-pattern steel blade design.
Oh, that looks
It gives you a
proper.
consistent, perfect cut every time.
Oh, that's amazing.
Just pack, push, and prepare.
Apple and cinnamon
Delicious.
chips.
You can also use
I
it to
dunno,
make beautiful
I'm not
veggie
so
and
keen on
fruit
that colour.
platters.
It looks a bit
Look,
communist to me.
Just pack and push.
Pack and push.
And create
Suck them,
delectable looking
Canes.
crudités. And clean up just couldn't be quicker. Quick
Look
Chips is
at
even
that.
dishwasher safe. Don't mess about with knives or clumsy
Oh,
cutters.
it's all black
Have
and
the
white and
chips
struggle.
You love
You
at
can see
home,
the
the fast and
suffering
easy way
in
with
folks.
JML Quick Chips.
Yes.
Take yours to the checkout now.
Oh, I tell you what, I'm taking mine to the checkout right now. I'm going to enjoy myself some quick chips brought to you by JML.
You can guarantee the chips don't fall out like that. You'd be fucking smacking the thing to try and get a couple of them out.
What are you talking about, Top Cat? Of course, they just come straight out like, oh, Top Cat, how could you say
I
that?
bet it's a bloody nightmare to wash it.
Top Cat, don't you be besmirching our JML. Didn't you see how quick and easy it was to wash? Do I need to repeat it? Shall we see? Yeah, let's have a look at how quick and easy it can be washed. So we'll bring it back, and so this is the benefit of our doubting Debbie.
Yeah, it's just I've never come across a firm just as good as
Doubting Top
JML. Yeah, that's
every
it.
time.
It's just,
pack,
all the
push,
other
and
companies
prepare.
have let me down.
Delicious.
Well, I've just
You
not
can
used
also use it to
JML.
make
Look how much
beautiful
she's enjoying
veggie
those
and
chips.
fruit platters. Look,
She's nodding
just
her head in
pack
agreement.
and push.
Yeah.
And create delectable looking crudités. And
Pack
clean up
and
just
push.
couldn't be quicker. Quick Chips is
Clean up
even
couldn't be
Why
dishwasher
didn't she
safe.
take it out? Because
Don't
they
mess
show you at
about
the
with
end, you can take
knives
the
or
blade
clumsy
out.
cutters. Have the chips
See,
you
see,
love
look.
at home, the fast and easy way with JML
See, it's
Quick
fast and
Chips.
it's easy.
Take yours to the checkout now.
What would you need? Brought to you by
What more do you
JML.
need than fast and easy?
And just remember,
How fast and easy do you need it, Top Cat?
yeah.
I suppose it doesn't get better.
it
Okay,
does-
I'm convinced. I'm
Yeah,
convinced now.
It is. Remember, none of this racism would be possible if it wasn't for JML. So, guys, when you go to the checkout, think JML and all the things they
Yeah.
can do for you.
Take yours to the checkout. You got something else for us then, Hobbit?
Jay Warren says Top Cat's JML shares just disappeared.
I know we can say. Oh, you're a screen share. You're not scared. You're just sharing that with us. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll take off the screen share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can see it. We can see you, bro.
Stop streaming.
The viewers can see it on your little icon.
Yeah.
Your screen share.
Oh, this is you can't hear Hobbit. Oh, I really need to be like this close to the microphone, otherwise.
I don't get it. Why can nobody hear you? I can hear you fine.
I think I'm not sure if they might just be trolling at this point because he's been there. I haven't had a problem at all.
The important thing is, as long as people can hear JML and all the ways they can benefit us, then I think that's it. JML. Food news.
Yeah, you are really quiet on the stream. I've just had a listen. You're like half the volume of. Really? You're like half the volume of Top Cat.
Sorry. Yeah, of course. I'm listening on the Discord. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. I've just increased the volume on my microphone. That might make things better. Oh, I was doing a recording of sound. I just noticed, like, oh, your levels are high. I'll just turn that down on the microphone there, and then it'll just be better. So, you guys get to hear me in all the volume that everyone else heard me. So there you go. Yeah. Don't know why I'm going American. Bit annoyed with the shenanigans on Tuesday's show with your internet sabotage by the Chinese communists, the Chi-Coms, Hemi.
The Chi-Coms.
The Chi-Coms, they were just like, hey, Eunice says lazy bitch didn't peel them. Some of us like the skins on our chips.
Yeah, you can't beat skin on chips. Jesus, what's the matter with you, mate? Roughage makes you poo.
I like them. It's got more flavour. I mean, that's the good bit of the potato. Hobbit sound is terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, with you, it's either you can't hear you at all, or you're coming in as fucking hot as an approaching meteorite. They seem to be your two volume levels, Hobbit.
Well, guys, all I can say is that registered UK charity number 3717, chairs and microphones for racists. If you two are annoyed with the shit fucking quality of my microphone, then give us some money. Go on, give it £3 a month. Do you want to save some fucking panda bears, or do you want to hear this in superlative quality? I think I know the answer to that. Fuck those panda bears. What are those?
Yeah, fuck them. If an animal ain't even gonna fuck, I mean, what? Why? Why save it?
If those black and white slanty eyes can't get it up, then what's £3 a month gonna do?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But pay £3 a month to get a Japanese waifu to wank off a panda.
I mean, who wants to see? Well, I don't want to ask that question. Who wants to see that? I might get an answer.
Anyway, speaking of, are you going to talk about this week's news from PA about young?
Yeah. So it turns out that PA have been recruiting children into their armed militant wing to do suicide bombings, but they got the wrong end of the stick, and they did leaflets saying, like, if you dislike Nignogs as much as I do, then smash them to the curb. And I haven't read the leaflets, so I'm just imagining the sort of like language that Mark Collett would use. Is every time you keep a darkie down, a white man gets his wings. And so turns out someone, a child, was distributing these leaflets, and the police suddenly woke up. Their entire investigative apparatus, which everyone thought long since been dead and buried, turns out it still works. It's brilliant when it comes to prosecuting children for distributing leaflets. So now somebody, a child, is helping the police with their investigations into PA and asking, why are you distributing hate speech? Don't you realise how evil that is? That's literally the worst crime you can do in this country. So this child will probably be executed publicly by a pack of nignogs.
Well, the child also realised that stepping on a rake was so much fun that he went straight onto a stream with Mark and Laura, didn't he?
Well, that's the typical trait of Collett. He does it repeatedly. When he makes a mistake, he immediately doubles down on that mistake and tells you how good that mistake is, was, and how, it doesn't learn. It does not learn.
Getting children arrested will wake up the white race. And meanwhile,
we've said, you should be protecting these young lads, educating them, guiding them, inspiring them, not giving them, a quirky leaflet and telling them, go and hand this out and get yourself arrested and have the bloody... And, how his mother must feel now, a 16-year-old lad. And, imagine being his mother one day and secret sources and Dopey Chris.
Charlie Big Potatoes told us himself that his mum is very, very behind his activism.
Well, just imagine how his mum must feel that one day, out of nowhere, you get Dopey Chris and secret sources starting to give phone calls to you, telling you how okay Barclay is and how safe he is, and how everything is just fine. And then a couple of months later, the police are bloody knocking your door in and taking his computer and taking him in for questioning.
His PC and Xbox hard drive.
Yeah, so I'm sure she was very bloody reassured, getting these phone calls out of nowhere from these people, that don't even live in the bloody country, telling them how safe, their bloody 16-year-old boy is going to be. And he, even before this, he was playing reporter, trying to, ask controversial questions to, like, what you'd call leftist groups in the streets. And I thought he's probably going to, the police might have done him a favour bringing him off the streets, because if he kept asking these provocative questions on his own, just a little 16-year-old boy,
he's going to get a bike locked to the head, isn't he?
Somebody, one of these unhinged people might have just attacked him.
Or worse. I mean, we know most Antifa are kind of child interferers. So what happens if a group of them get a bit horny while he's out there asking them stupid questions?
Well, you never know what could have happened, but like I say, the police might have done him a favour there, because he could have wound up getting himself hurt. But it just highlights how patriotic alternative aren't interested in, protecting these young lads, educating them, and really forming something real. They just want to get the leaflets out there and, look at this, look at how controversial we are.
Maybe he wants to be Tommy Robinson. Maybe he wants to do time and get napalmed while he's inside.
Who's that? Barclay?
Yeah.
Well, who knows what he wants? But
I'm sure Mark reassured him. He said, "Never you mind, Barclay. We have many more young men if you go down."
Sure. Well,
don't worry, Barclay. Your loss is what I consider acceptable in my career.
Yeah, but he hasn't got a role model or anybody that's got his back in that organisation. Unfortunately, it's this has happened. But great decision by him and Mark Collette to drag him on a stream for 2,000 people to watch, including probably his arresting officers.
I should imagine. There are plenty of Antifa that watch every week to record everything. Hope not hate spies.
Sure, and no acknowledgement again from leadership in inverted commas of patriotic alternative. There's absolutely no reflection whatsoever on the mistakes. It's always just a doubling down. And I will say as well,
it's getting kind of Tommy Robinson like now, isn't it? It's like if the leader ever gets in trouble, there'll be a whip round for legal fees. But if one of the plebs gets in legal troubles, they're on their own. It's becoming very Tommy Robinson, isn't it?
Yeah, and just simple things they really are on their own, because there's nothing physical to PA. I mean, they're a registered company, but they're registered to some generic address where thousands of companies are registered to. They don't have like a headquarters. There's nothing real where somebody that got in trouble could go and say, hey, I'm in trouble, I need help. You just get banned from the online chat group and, see you later, pal. But I will say to all of these very, very, I don't know if you're aware of this, Hemi and Hobbit, but there are very, very high IQ people involved in PA. Very high IQ.
Very high IQ.
Yeah, well, and they have not had the foresight, apparently, to consider a scenario such as this, such as giving a 16-year-old boy a controversial leaflet and telling him to go out on his own, handing these leaflets out and getting arrested. Apparently, nobody could see that. Nobody could see that one coming.
Top Cat, I disagree with you. You see, you're just not high enough IQ to understand that these are acceptable losses. We'll have to, keep using child soldiers in the war to win the right race, and that way Marek Alkoholicki in Solihull will keep being able to give his money back to his family in Bratislava or wherever the fuck he lives. I don't know. So
I suppose young Barclay's collateral damage then, is he, on the way to Colette becoming the bloody Fiora of Europe, eh?
Well, it's all just acceptable losses, and if your IQ is as high as mine, you'd understand that these things are just necessary eggshells. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs.
Barclay, young man, you could be my Ernst Rome.
He also didn't consider the leaflets. They also didn't. Yeah, you're right. They also didn't consider that you could post a leaflet to Antifa, and then they could, like, I don't know, use video footage from their doorbell to get you arrested.
I've been drinking Galahad today, and can I just say it is refreshingly excellent. Unlike the cheap knockoff by Lidl, the Excelsior, or is it Excalibur?
Oh, that's wank.
Which says
that's fucking horrible shit. Yeah.
Refreshing.
I might give it. We were talking about that just before you came on. Like I said, Aldi's very hit and miss with its stock. It used to have cores all the time at Aldi, and one day they disappeared. There must be a supply chain problem. But I'll give Galahad a whirl at some point.
What do you want to drink?
It's alright. It's like a shit. Anyway? It's like they've changed their branding as well, so it looks exactly the same as Foster's. No, it's like a clone of Foster's. Galahad is. I like Galahad.
But I like Galahad more because, it's Knights of the Round Table.
Cheap as fuck.
Yes, just like the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah, it's patriotic.
It's a well-known fact, by the way, that nobody in Australia drinks Foster's. It's just a marketing gimmick.
They couldn't give a Castlemaine 4X for anything else, mate.
That is.
Why don't they ever export Victoria Bitter? That's what I want to know.
It probably tastes like piss. I mean, are the Aussies ever been any good at anything ever?
Rape.
They're good at racism.
Even.
Well,
they're bad at winning wars against ostriches, aren't they?
I was going to say it. I was going to say the exact same thing. They lost the war. They lost the war against the emus, didn't they? A flightless
emus.
bird.
That was it. Yeah. I knew it was a flightless bird. I couldn't think of the right word.
And failed to breed out the abos as well.
Yeah.
But
I was looking at the Wikipedia page for that earlier on because I was going to share it as a potential story because it was something, where the Hobbit was talking about there were no casualties or no deaths in the on that flight. I was thinking there were no deaths really in the Emu War of people, but they still lost.
It turns out fighting emus is harder than what one might have thought. So. But, I had a point about this. Australia, emus, Galahad, 4X, Victoria Bitter. That was it. I was tidying up today, and I noticed I found 2 tins of Kinney, the bittersweet orange drink from Malta, and it made me so happy. It's like, I really like that drink. And then it made me feel really sad because it's like, I can't go there anymore because communism.
Ever.
Yeah.
It just won't happen unless I, put myself in blackface and take a dinghy. But then I'll have to live there, so I don't know. But
what do you think to what do you think to Cummins leaving, Phil? Do you think it's going to be a big? Do you think Boris is full steam ahead on U-turn for Brexit? Do you?
Yep. No, Biden's been elected. Yeah. You can forget about Brexit.
I mean, did you honestly think, Cummings was going to push it through anyway? Because
no,
wouldn't he have done it by now? It's just one interchangeable, yes man globalist leaving, and it'll be another one replacing him as well. They're all the bleeding same.
I mean, it doesn't matter what all these people do because Whitehall and the unelected civil servants are the ones making our laws, and they don't want to leave the EU.
Well, it seems to be Boris Johnson's unelected fucking slag that's making our laws at the moment.
Well, now that we sort of had a nearly, well, I'd say nearly conservative. Boris was nearly a conservative, but now he's got to go and roll back that, and he's going to embrace liberalism full fold because of Biden. And yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very shit.
I mean, I
But
don't
don't
know
worry,
about you,
Mark
but
Collette will save the day.
if we're just going to be ruled by unelected representatives, then can't we just go back to monarchism? Because at least they're not fucking honest. It'd just be like Queen Victoria saying.
Can we go back to having the sort of people where when we fall out of favour with them, we could just lynch them? Can't we have that?
It's not that
Can we
easy,
go back to that kind of government?
The problem is, though, is that
democracy.
the problem with monarchism is that it's good if you've got a good monarch, but if you've got a terrible monarch, it's not as simple as just beheading them. Because, especially in England, anyway, because they've got like a powerful army behind them. It's like we're not in the same era anymore, so.
Oh, yeah, so it's completely different. I mean, the liberal democracy we've got now is so much better than monarchism because, you know, if people get
No, it's both shit.
Yeah, I mean, this system's shit either way. It's just you've got a bunch of people that are hell bent on destroying our country and all the culture of it, and they hate our nation. They hate us. So
with monarchism,
I mean, what's worse? I mean, a prime minister that thinks he's there because he's the best politician there is, or just having someone who thinks they're ordained by God. I mean, if you can have that kind of insanity, you might as well have someone who thinks they're ordained by God.
To be fair, the globalists in charge believe that they're ordained by God as well. They believe they're like the chosen people, so you know it's the same deal, really.
Yeah, unfortunately, Phil, for us, those chosen people, they're not big fans of Jesus Christ, so you know.
No. Yeah. So yeah, you fucked up. You fucked with every political system. It's got problems with monarchism or fascism. It's the only problem is that you've got to have a good leader. If you've got a good man at the top, then it's wicked until they die, and then when they die, you've just got to pray and hope that the next leader is also based. But if they're a fucking psychopath,
the continuity can be a bitch as well, can't it? You know, the bit in between when you finding a new successor is usually a bitch, isn't it? With fascism.
And monarchism as well, because it's not really reliable that this person popped out of a certain vagina, therefore they should be leader. It's not really.
Yeah, but that's what
reliable.
we've got now, and especially in the places like the United States.
Well, we have got
it's
that
all
now,
dynasties, isn't it? I mean, they're all interrelated. They're all cousin brothers, and it's just like, oh yeah, well we're done with Bush. I have Reagan, which was apparently was also Bush. Then Clinton, then Bush, then Clinton behind the scenes when Trump's in power, and then it'll go back. So it's all fucking dynasties. It's the same bloody families. It's like, yeah, we'll have a turn at the ones in charge, ostensibly. And really, I'm just thinking to a point, it's like, can we just do away with this fucking charade and pretending like the public's ever got a voice in these matters? Because it's
we haven't in England.
We don't.
It's even worse in England, because in England we've got the House of Lords. Like the House of Lords are the ones who amend all legislation. Like it's not the case that like the people who represent, they don't even represent. First things first, the House of Commons don't represent us; they represent corporate interest, and they brainwash the public into voting for them. 2, the House of Lords are unelected, and they also don't represent your interests in any fucking way, and they propose and amend legislation, and the bureaucracy involved means that they propose the legislation.
But that's another thing that Tony Blair fucked up because the House of Lords, they're both master and fucking slave at the same time, because they were put there by the same MPs that they're supposed to to correct when they're going off the deep end.
Well, this is just like when the government employs an advisor, an independent advisor. Unless if that independent advisor doesn't give them what they want, in terms of conclusion, they just get fired. I remember the guy. Do you remember the guy that was charged with investigating how dangerous ecstasy was, and he came back? And statistically, you're more likely to die riding a horse than you are from taking an ecstasy pill, and they just got rid of him because he didn't say.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
he didn't say what he was supposed to say.
That's the problem, you see, when you start using statistics. I mean, people can say, oh yeah, but I know someone who got chinky pox, it's dangerous. And it's like, yeah, but statistically it's less dangerous than the flu. I mean, when someone dies of the flu, you don't start going, oh yeah, someone died of the flu. Oh, flu's dangerous, isn't it?
When you saying the other day, Hobbit, that we didn't have flu this year?
Well, that's it. Flu's gone down 98% this year. It's incredible. I mean, nobody knows why flu's gone down, but
Well, admittedly, that's because flu kicks in. Like peak flu season is like literally Christmas week in January. But what they will do is just put them in together with coronavirus. That's why they've started adding more symptoms. They've said, "Oh, have you got a runny nose? That's a symptom." It's like, no, it fucking isn't. Why are you lying?
are you starting to feel lonely and depressed?
I think I always wonder whether, like, if peak flu season is Christmas, I always wonder whether it's like that's like the peak of like exhaustion, like nervous exhaustion. People.
Yeah, it's just psychological
their
stress.
immune systems are so fucking run down
It's not even a
because
real
they got out of
virus,
their
it's
mind
just-
over Christmas. That's when
It's
they
just
catch.
they overwork. Oh, it's a symptom they've been overworked and psychological distress. They just don't tell you that. They say, "Oh, it's a virus. It's a virus." There, it's like, you sure? Because I think this is just me having a mental fucking breakdown. Because you forced me to fucking save up $5,000 to pay for some plastic from China.
Are you poor?
Has it got-
Are you depressed? Are you lonely? Yeah, I've been locked out and I've been unemployed all this time. Wow, that's symptoms of chinky pox. You've got chinky pox. Speaking
Pull
of,
yourself up by your boots. They'll say, "Pull yourself up by your bootstraps." So
don't have
no,
any bootstraps.
the people are killing.
We'll sell you some bootstraps with 14 easy payments of $99.95 a month recurring.
Yeah.
Hey, does anybody know what this year's under manufactured toy is?
Oh, isn't it the unicorn which shits out slime and tells little girls to be having sex, especially with the darkies? And don't tell mum and dad about this.
Do they still have the Christmas toy of the year, or is that gone out of fashion now? I remember when it was like Furbies,
I kind of doubt, because they always had the toy every year. I always thought it was some kind of scam because they always under manufactured it, didn't they? They were always like way down on the numbers for it, weren't they?
Oh, well, in that case, it could be the Nvidia releasing a graphics card. And there's critical undersupply shortages. You can't get them for love nor money because scalpers have bought them up and they're selling them for like 3 times the price. So if you want one of these new graphics cards, I've seen prices as high as £3,000.
Which graphic cards is that?
Oh, the 3000 series of the Nvidia.
Oh, no wonder it cost £3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 3000
Yeah, point is, you're going to have lockdowns every year right now. They're going to destroy the high street. Boris Johnson's going to be a proper full-on globo homo. And Conservatives are just going to be coping with that like with 10 years. In 10 years' time, Conservatives will be saying, "Yeah, what's wrong with having gay, black, trannies in the Conservative Party? They're based. Conservatism's just about being fiscally conservative, that's it."
Well, and along with that, the Conservatives will be, it'll be a Conservative value to just wear your mask during autumn and winter, but we're not going to let them make you wear masks in spring and summer.
I didn't even cover that news story where everyone's favourite Belgian health minister, Maggie de Bleek, the real-life Jabba the Hutt. The headline read, "Unnecessary sex to be banned in Belgium." And it's like if you're engaging with like 3 or more partners, this is considered unnecessary sex, and you shouldn't do it. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? Another headline I saw today was somebody they did one of these PCR tests that the complete bollocks, like it's not a chinky pox test, it just tests for RNA. So they did a swab in their left nostril, came back positive. Did a swab in the right nostril, came back negative. Like,
to be fair, did you see the size of those fucking nostrils?
Oh,
why do I know the name of that woman? What's her name?
You know the one I'm on about then?
Erica Badu.
Yeah.
Isn't she like Muhammad Ali's daughter or something?
I haven't a fucking clue. I mean, they all got different names. I mean, like surnames for blacks is like it's kind of like what shoes are they wearing? It doesn't really denote any family thing because like you'll have like the brothers and they've got like each one's a different father. Your siblings have all got different surnames.
No, it's not. I thought she was someone famous.
Oh,
she just seems like one of those names that I should know who she is.
But it's just it's all this stuff is fucking bollocks. But you know what? We're coming to the last 2 minutes of the show, and I thought we'd leave on the high note. So, who wants to have a look at the flute song again? I know I sure want to look at the flute song.
Oh, can you follow it up with Stan Boardman?
You give me the thing, but
it's on Twitter, and you added me on Twitter, didn't you?
I don't want to help YouTube advertisers with a survey. Fuck off. I need... This is because it's my different thing, but anyway. Let's share the screen so you can see it. That one there, go live. And then...
I'll stick it in Doodling Pad, I bet.
For the benefit of the audience, you too will see it.
You'll have to play the Twitter one.
So
now Phil's buggered off and his phone keeps going off.
So I'm going to mute Phil for the moment, and now we're going to enjoy a nice outro. We're actually having an outro, guys. How based is that?
This is what Hobbit does every morning, isn't it, Hobbit?
What, have an outro?
No, on the video.
Oh, okay.
I imagine that's what you do every morning, don't you, Hobbit?
What, play my flute? Yes.
Yeah, play your flute and run through it and skip through the forest.
You cannot whack a tab.
You cannot whack a tab.
He does look like a proper pedo, though, doesn't he?
He's from Slovakia.
Yeah, exactly. Did he do the original song then? That got remixed?
It's a remix.
Also, fuck
It's
yeah.
had drum and bass back in the 70s.
No, I mean, did he do the original? What they sound
Fuck knows.
I just get the feeling that whenever he creeps up behind one of those, thinks he's looking at a kid.
Yeah, you don't want to find some shite of it. I mean, how do you even come across this? Who's made this? I mean, what could they be thinking to make it look?
I don't know who's fucking creepier, the dude on the swing or the fucking creepy guy staring at him.
Probably rape each other, won't they?
Is he only playing to the PA banner drop?
Let's start Imagine Dragon Energy to spend his time.
Oh look, he's going always to his rape cave. No, fuck off, John Lewis and Partners. We haven't got a sponsorship deal with you. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching the show.
That must have been the
Stan Boardman.
Oh, I'm going to do one more.
advert that I mentioned.
Stan Boardman, where is it? Doodling Pad. Oh.
Yeah. I've only got the Twitter one.
Oh, that's Des O'Connor. Yeah.
Oh, he's dead, yeah.
Well, he died. He died. We can celebrate his death.
Okay, just a minute. Let me just I've got to move things around so that we'll do that, and then I'll load this up, and yep, that's it. Oh no, of course Twitter just starts automatically playing rather than allowing.
Yeah, fucking Twitter's a law unto itself, isn't it?
Oh, Twitter can eat a bag of dicks.
Des O'Connor, who I'm disappointed to hear that he's in fact a 4x2.
Oh, 4x2.
Do you know who else is a 4x2?
And
Chuckle
Irish.
Brothers.
No, get out of town.
They fucking are, yeah.
Fuck off, Phil. You're not ruining my childhood.
The Chucklestein brothers.
That destroyed me in my peak Natsock period. That fucking destroyed me. I was fucking mortified. I was like, you
I
bastards.
tried to leave on a high note, and you have to kick me in the teeth like this. Look up
Yeah.
the fucking massacre.
Let's watch cheeky comic Stan Boardman. Remember, this is on primetime TV that he's saying this, or possibly the afternoon. I'm not sure.
Just wait for the look on Des O'Connor's face.
Get your hand off your hip. What about...
He got him Buffler, good lad.
Tell us about your friend. Yeah? Put your hand back on your hip. Tell us about your friend. The Germans. Who else? No, everyone's asking about the Germans because you say, well, did he bomb your chip shops? I said, yeah, but he bombed everybody's chip shops, didn't he? I mean, he bombed in Poland. I mean,
hey, tell Charlie that one.
Did he have him? All right. Is he Polish?
I'm just blessing you.
No, I said Polish, Poland. I mean, did you see that fella on This Is Your Life about a few weeks ago? Charlie Polanski. He came over here and he was walking down Oxford Street and Eamon Andrews jumped out the door with his red boot and said, Charlie Polanski, this is your life. And he said, yeah. So he says, you're coming with us to the studios where all your friends are there. And we're going to tell us all about what happened because you are a famous fighter pilot during the war. You shot down 25 Fokker Wolves.
Wonderful plane.
Yeah, yes, so we went there. He said, Charlie Polanski, you're here now. There's 15 million viewers watching. Tell us what happened. He said, well, I was flying in a Spitfire over the English Channel. And I am in the Spitfire. And all of a sudden, I see in front of me 2 fuckers. I think to myself, I must shoot one of the fuckers down.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, look at his face.
I shoot one of the fuckers down. And the other fucker went into the clouds, so I followed him. And I lose the fucker. And then I come out of the clouds. I look around. He's gone. And in the mirror, I look behind me. The fucker is behind me.
When the Jew learned shame, Hobbit.
Explain to the Jews that during the war, the German fighter plane was a German Fokker Wolf. He said, that is correct, Eamon, but these fuckers were Messerschmitts.
Oh, there we go. And that's it. Coming back again Sunday.